Few figures exerted greater influence over the music of the 1960s and 1970s than this vocalist. After laying the groundwork for the Memphis soul sound through his work with Stax Records, this legendary vocalist began a highly successful solo career which predated not only the disco movement but also the evolution of rap. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Isaac Hayes. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell for more content. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Isaac Lee Hayes Jr. was born on August 20th, 1942 in Covington, Tennessee, the second child of Illa Wade and Isaac Hayes Sr. After his mother passed while Hayes was still an infant, his father abandoned his family, which left Hayes being raised by his grandparents. The child of a sharecropper family, Hayes grew up working on farms in the Tennessee counties of Shelby and Tipton. After making his public debut singing in church at the age of 5, he taught himself how to play the piano, organ, and saxophone. Hayes dropped out of high school, but his former teachers at Manassas High School in Memphis encouraged him to complete his diploma, which he did at the age of 21. After graduating from high school, Hayes was offered several music scholarships from colleges and universities. He turned down all of them to provide for his immediate family, working at a meatpacking plant in Memphis by day and playing nightclubs and juke joints several evenings a week in Memphis and nearby northern Mississippi. Hayes' first professional gigs in the late 1950s were as a singer at Curry's Club in North Memphis, backed by Ben Branch's house band. Before moving to Memphis to perform on the city's club circuit in a series of short-lived groups like Sir Isaac and the Doodads, the Teen Tones, and Sir Calvin and his Swingin' Cats. In 1962, he began his recording career, cutting sides for a variety of local labels. Two years later, Hayes began playing sax with the Marquis, which resulted in the beginning of his long association with Stax Records. After playing on several sessions for Otis Redding, Hayes was tapped to play keyboards in the Stax House Band and eventually established a partnership with songwriter David Porter. The Hayes-Porter duo composed around 200 songs, reeling off a string of hits for Stax luminaries like Sam Dave, When Something Is Wrong With My Baby,
Something wrong with me.
Soul Man, and Hold On, I'm Coming. Carla Thomas B.A.B.Y.
I love for you to call me baby when you squeeze.
And Johnny Taylor's I Got to Love Somebody's Baby.
But I was in the dark for such a long time.
And I Had a Dream.
I dreamed the only woman that I've ever loved.
Hayes and Porter contributed to the Stax sound of this period, and Sam Dave credited Hayes for helping develop both their sound and style. In 1968, Hayes released his debut album presenting Isaac Hayes, which was a jazzy, largely improvised effort that was commercially unsuccessful. Stax then went through a major upheaval, losing his biggest star when Otis Redding passed in a plane crash in December of 1967. Then losing his back catalog to Atlantic Records in May of 1968. As a result, Stax executive vice president Al Bell called for 27 new albums to be completed in mid-1969. Hayes' second album, Hot Butter Soul, was the most successful of all these releases. Also during this period, Hayes' biggest release was Walk On By.
And walk on by.
Hayes' ornate arrangements and sensual grooves, combined with the imposing figure cut by his shaven head, omnipresent sunglasses, and fondness for gold jewelry, made Hayes one of the most distinctive figures in music. after a pair of 1970 releases, the Isaac Hayes Movement, and to be continued. He reached his commercial zenith in 1971 with the release of Shaft, the score from the Gordon Parks film of the same name. Not only did the album win Hayes an Academy Award for Best Score, but he also became the first African American composer to garner such an honor. But the single theme from Shaft was a masterful blend of prime funk and pre-rap monologues, became a #1 hit.
Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man?
After 1971's Superb Black Moses and 1973's Joy, Hayes composed two 1974 soundtracks, Tough Guys and Truck Turner, in which he also starred. By 1975, relations with Stax had disintegrated following a battle over royalties. He soon severed his ties with the label to form his own Hot Butter Soul imprint. By 1974, Stax Records was having serious financial problems, stemming from problems with overextension and limited record sales and distribution. Hayes himself was deep in debt to Union Planters Bank, which administered loans for the Stax label and many of his other key employees. In September that year, Hayes sued Stax for $5.3 million. As Stax was in deep debt and could not pay, the label made an arrangement with Hayes and Union Planters. Stax released Hayes from his recording and production contracts, and Union Planters would collect all of Hayes' income and apply it towards his debts. Hayes formed his own label, Hot Butter Soul, which released his product through ABC Records. His new album, 1975's Chocolate Chip, saw Hayes embrace the disco sound with the title track and lead single. I Can't Turn Around would prove a popular song as time went on.
I can't turn around, no more empty days.
This would be Hayes' last album to chart in the top 40 for many years. Later in the year, the all-instrumental Disco Connection album fully embraced disco. After the 1977 double LP, A Man and a Woman, recorded with Dionne Warwick, Hayes began a comeback on the strength of the hit singles, Zeke the Freak, Don't Let Go, Do You Wanna Make Love?
Tell me the words you say are true.
Have you ever known me to
Following the success of his 1979 collection of duets with Millie Jackson titled Royal Rabbins, he issued a pair of solo records, With and Once Again and Lifetime Thing, before retiring from music for 5 years. After returning in 1986 with the LP U-Turn and the top 10 R&B hit Ike's Rap.
I never abused you.
Hayes surfaced 2 years later with Love Attack before again dropping out of music to focus on acting. On July 17, 1974, Hayes, along with Mike Storr, Avron Fogelman, and Kemmons Wilson, took over ownership of the American Basketball Association team, the Memphis Tams. The prior owner was Charles O. Finley, the owner of the Oakland A's baseball team. Hayes' group renamed the team the Memphis Sounds. Despite a 66% increase in home attendance, hiring well-regarded coach Joe Mulaney, and, unlike in the prior 3 seasons, making the 1975 ABA playoffs, losing to the eventual champion Kentucky Colonels in the Eastern Division semifinals, the team's financial problems continued. The group was given a deadline of June 1st, 1975 to sell 4,000 season tickets, obtain new investors, and arrange a more favorable lease for the team at the Mid-South Coliseum. However, the group did not come through in the ABA but took over the team, selling it to a group in Maryland that renamed the team the Baltimore Hustlers and then the Baltimore Claws before the club finally folded during preseason play for the 1975 to 1976 season. In the 1970s, Hayes was featured in the film Shaft and Truck Turner. He also had a recurring role in the TV series The Rockford Files as an old cellmate of Rockford's. In the 1980s and 1990s, he appeared in numerous films, notably Escape from New York, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Prime Target, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, as well as appearing in episodes of The A-Team and Miami Vice. In 1991, he was featured in a duet with fellow soul singer Barry White on White's ballad Dark and Lovely. Hayes joined the founding cast of Comedy Central's animated TV series South Park. He provided the voice for the character of Chef, the Amherst Elementary School lunchroom cook from the show's debut on August 13, 1997, 1 week shy of his 55th birthday, through the end of its 9th season in 2006. The role of Chef combined his work both as an actor and as a singer, thanks to the character's penchant for making conversational points in the form of crudely suggestive soul songs. On March 13, 2006, a statement was issued in Hayes' name, indicating that he was asking to be released from his contract with Comedy Central, calling recent episodes that satirize religious beliefs intolerant. In 1995, fully enshrined as one of the forefathers of hip-hop and newly converted to Scientology, Hayes emerged with 2 concurrent releases, the vocal branded and instrumental Raw and Refined. Under the official name Neen Katie Okanzi I, he also served as a member of the royal family of the African nation of Ghana while continuing simultaneous careers as an actor, composer, and humanitarian. In 2000, Hayes revisited his biggest triumph of the past by appearing in the remake of Shaft starring Samuel L. Jackson. The following year, he supported Alicia Keys as a musician and arranger on her acclaimed debut album. Although he recorded little during the 2000s, he appeared in many films, including 2004's Hustle and Flow. Hayes was in ill health on August 10, 2008, when he collapsed at his home in Memphis and was pronounced dead later that day of a stroke due to high blood pressure. Hayes had 11 children, 14 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. The Tennessee General Assembly enacted legislation in 2010 to honor Hayes by naming a section of Interstate 40 the Isaac Hayes Memorial Highway. As of this recording, Hayes is not inducted into the R&B or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Isaac Hayes?